Okay, another little video on my Honda X-adv 750. This is the 2025 model, so at the moment the newest model. And today I've got some off-roading foot pegs. Now, these are a genuine Honda part, and they're made in Spain of all places, because Honda's well known for being Spanish. So I've just ordered these a week or so ago, and they came quite quickly, so that's pretty good by Honda. And let's get them open and have a look. So I like to do my videos, I like to do them so that as I see things, you see things. So it's like what you would see in the real world when you bought your stuff. This is what you're going to see. So we've got, wow, look at this. Got like a whole strip of stuff, springs and pins and all kinds of spacers and washers. Golly gosh. Some aluminium, these are going to be for the pegs to sit in. So a couple of those. Now, the actual pegs themselves, which look fairly sort of chunky, but I know from other people that off-road that probably they want to be even bigger than that. But to get me going, I suspect that they'll be good enough. And then what we got here is the little plate that they sit on. So a couple of these plates that are quite nicely machined. Right, so in the box I've got this little bit of paper, and it's got two little barcodes that you can scan with your phone, and neither of them take me to any kind of instructions. So this is the reality of the situation. So take the tools out of the way. So this is what I've got. Let's have a little, make sure you can see what I can see. Right. So this is not easy. Right, so what I've done is I've lined it up with left and right, or what I think is left and right, and some things I'm not sure about. Right, so there's a pin, that's that one, must be for that side. Right, so I have divided the parts up into two sides, and this is going to be the right hand side, and this is going to be the peg for the right hand side. So far what I've managed to ascertain is that you're going to put a spring in there, and it goes, let me just see, it goes with the little point in there, that goes up in there. Let's have a little fiddle, like so, like that. Then this pin is going to go through it. So here's one I made earlier, and then I guess you're going to have a washer on the end and this little split pin. So that's that section, but you obviously have to put that on after you have put the plate on and bolted this aluminium piece to it. So that can all come off for the moment, like so. I'll leave that all in one bit. So what remains, this little pin, which I'm going to guess goes in there and then in there, to make sure that it doesn't move around, so that we know where it's going. So what's left is basically the two bolts, one of which is an Allen key and the other one is a 10mm. No, well, a bit bigger than a 10mm, isn't it? Maybe a 13. Two identical spacers, so they must go there, and one washer. So Don't know, let's have a little look over here. So the light isn't the best, but we'll give it a go. See what we can do. So this is obviously where it's going to attach. So I've got a 6mm, and that is an Allen key, so I can just crack them off. Oh, very difficult to crack off. And so I've been told by someone else that once you release these, it could be that the bit behind it, because this one I'm doing now is on a bit of tension, you can feel it. So it could be that the things behind it move around once I've took them out. And this has got some thread on it, hasn't it? Right, well, it's a relatively short little bolt, look. That's the top one. That's got a round, and this is the bottom one, and that's got a round bit as well. So the question is, what's the washer for? So right, that goes on there, obviously, with this little piece going on the end. So the question I've got is, where does this washer go? Because it's not going to go, well, maybe it goes in that one. No, already lost it. Maybe it goes in that one. I don't know. Or maybe it goes in this one because it holds the fairing on. That's going to be my guess. So I reckon there's a short one and a long one. I reckon the short one is at the top, but having a washer in there is going to be irrelevant to anything, isn't it? Because it's not going to, oh no, it is, yeah it is. So it's that one, then that one, then that one. That's what I reckon. And that is now something like an 8mm Allen key. It's definitely an 8. So let's see if we can get that in. So before I go any further, we're going to want to get that, put the little guide peg in the back of it, making sure that it's in as far as it will go, yes, and then that's going to go through there, marry up to that. Oh, it's quite a squeeze. Oh. Wow. And then you're going to get your spacer. So if I put that in there, and the spacer, it's got to be a 12. It's a 12, right. So this is a 12mm, just a normal socket. So let's wind him in. I'm hoping that's going to pinch that pin in as we go. Yep, she's going in. That little pin. It doesn't seem to want to pinch that pin in. It's just going to bend the pin, which is not where we want to go. Okay, right, let's have another go. So I have now tapped this pin, this little pin, can you see it sticking up there? I've tapped that in with a hammer. So that's gone in nicely, and that's going to marry up with the hole on that one. So that's nice now. So long with a spacer on the bottom, the shorter one with the Allen key with a spacer, and then the washer. That's my reckoning. Now, I'll get that lined up. Yep. And yep. So the bottom bolt is a 12mm. And the top one is an 8mm Allen key. So let's wind that in. That's that one done. And we'll do the bottom one next, all the way, in the right direction. Right, little torque to spec. Lovely. And torque the top one to spec. That's it. Now, we've got our little foot peg assembly. Let's get that over here in the light. So, it's going to go with this bit here. It's going to go down towards the ground. And then I've already got my spring there lined up. So the spring's going to go in this little hole. Let me see if I can get you to see this properly. Right. So the spring is, the end of the spring is going to go in this little hole here. So let's get him in there. Let's slide that in. Make sure the spring goes in the hole, which it has. And then we're going to find the, so it's got to go through the cage, then it's got to go through the peg. That's it. Then it's got to go through the spring. So let's show you what's happening. So yeah, it's gone through the cage, then the little outer part, then the black part of the peg, now through the spring, through the other side of the peg, and all the way out to the back. Then you've got a washer, which is going to go on the back. So let's put you there. It's a washer on the back and a little split pin, little tiny split pin, and that's it. I'll bend the split pin in a minute with a pair of pliers. I should suspect. I might be able to do it with my finger, yeah. There we go. So split pin is done. So now you've got your normal, they don't rock forward and backwards, so they're just one position. And then they do, as far as I'm aware, I think they tuck in. So the peg folds up and then you pull that down, this little flap. So up with the peg, down with that, and then it stays in the upright position. You see that? So down, put the peg up, pull that back down. That must be how it works. So there you go. Now, for the sake of it, I'm going to go and just jump on the bike and see what it looks like. Just put that there. Just going to jump on the bike. So, oh, okay. Yeah, that's in the right position. So I like that. So can I flick that up? I can, look, I can do it with my foot. Did you see that? So you lift the peg up, push that down. There you go. You can actually flick those in with your foot. So that's quite handy, isn't it? So look at that. So that's one side, and I did that without any instructions. The fairing is staying in position. So there you go. I'm now going to do the left-hand side. I've done the right-hand side, but I thought I'd just film the left-hand side to see whether it is more useful now that I know what I'm doing. So I know where everything goes and I know what to do, and the only thing I'm going to do or have done off camera is I'm going to put, or have put, this little pin there already into the plate. And all it was, I lined it up with a bit of wood underneath the back and gave that a tap with a hammer, and that was in. And where that goes, it corresponds on this one, and it lines up nicely on there. So on this one it slides on easy, and the other one this plate, it's a hammer-in job. So other than, what have we got? We've got an 8mm and a 6mm Allen key and a 12mm socket. So other than that, a hammer was the only other thing I needed. Right, so let's show you what's going on. So you've got a long and a short bolt. So I know from the other one, the other side, that the short bolt goes on the top with the spacer and a washer. That washer holds the fairing on. And then on the bottom, you've got this jobby, and then the long, let's try and put it sideways, the long and the spacer, and then all the other bits there are for mounting the peg afterwards. So out of the box, this little unit here, this comes as is, so you don't need to put this bit together. Now you want to be a bit careful because there's a ball bearing in there, just there, and if you push this too far, that ball bearing is going to fly out. You might never see it again, then you've got to find another ball bearing from somewhere. So for the minute, we don't need that for a second, we don't need the spring. There's a little tiny split pin there, and a washer and that, so we don't need those for a second. What we need is this setup. So first things first, we're going to crack off the nuts that are on the bike. Now they are they're quite tight in there, so just get you lined up. So it's a 6mm, and that's it, that's that one loose, loosey goosey. Oh, that one wasn't too bad. Right, so a fair bit of thread on these. Those are both the same. Now, we're going to get the bit we already put together so we know where everything goes. Slide that in. Make sure it goes in the right position. I think it has. And that one goes there. Right, so now we're going to swap over to an 8mm. So we started on a 6 and now we're on an 8. Get that wound in a bit because this one is still not located for some reason. There she goes. Right, let's wind them in. Right, just do the torque settings. There you go, torqued up to spec. Now, going to have our peg, pin, baby pin, washer and spring. Now, let's see if I can get closer so you can see what's going on. Right, so we know that's going to slide in there, and we know that the spring, the end of this spring here, locates into the little hole there. So it's just a case of just slotting that in there like that, and then put the pin, the big pin here, through all the pieces. A bit of a jiggle about to get everything right. That's the first bit, and then the peg itself wants to go up or down or in or out, I don't know which one, there we go. Then you've got to make sure you get through that spring and out the other side, put the washer on and put your little tiny mini split pin in the end and bend at least one of them, and they're so tiny you can just do that by hand. I'm going to bend them both round, just did that with my fingers. And there you go, that is the peg installed, and that took absolutely no time now that I knew where everything was going. So they then flip up in this manner. So that goes up first and then this goes down. Is that right? Oh, there we go. Just needed a bit of persuasion. So there we go. That's the other side fitted. Super simple. Okay, so we've got the foot pegs now on both sides of the bike, and what I thought I'd do quickly is just get on the bike, scooter styley, and show you something. So what you can do is you can actually tuck those pegs up with your foot so that when you don't want them in the way, you can still reach the floor. Right, so there you go. You can see my feet are on the floor. Can't see my head, but here I am. And so I can't quite flat foot this bike, so I'm sort of on the balls of my feet, and that's right at the front of the seat. And this is the comfort seat, which is a bit bigger, a bit higher up than the standard seat. So then I've got these off-road pegs there, and I just have to flick them down like so. The other one's tight, there we go. So, and then now I've got these positions for my feet, and now I've got this one here. So actually now I'm actually going to be in more of a sporty position if I want to be, a bit more of a motorbiking sort of geometry, even though I think on a motorbike I'd probably be more like this. So just to sort of show you one last time, with the back of my foot I can lift that up and push the other clip down, and then now in the up position, let's try it with the other one's a bit stiffer. Yep, they both work. So there you go. And now when I'm in the town and I want to put my feet down all the time, they're not in the way. So well done, Honda. Great little bit of design work on them pegs, and I suspect they're going to be better than the aftermarket ones, but we might see. So what do I think? What's my conclusion? Some access to instructions would be good for those of us that want to fit them ourselves. Once you've worked it out, that was super simple. So there you go. One foot peg mounted onto my brand new steed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.